Hey freaks, it's JJ. Welcome to my channel where I talk about rock and metal music and where I go in depth about some of my favorite concept albums. Today I have a very special guest. I have Tommy from Shredders TV. We are going to talk a little bit about avant-garde metal, being a metal YouTuber, and just some of the ins and outs of the metal industry and our experience with metal in general. So I'm actually going to be splitting this video into two parts. This is part one. Stay tuned for part number two next week. And without further ado, here is part one, talking about all things metal. Please welcome to the channel, Tommy from Shredders TV. Today I have Tommy from Shredders TV here on my channel today. We're going to be talking about avant-garde metal. So yes, I thought it was definitely appropriate to have Tommy here to talk about avant-garde metal because he recently just posted a video that goes really in depth. And he is from Italy. So if you want to watch that video, I will link it in the description. It is in Italian. So if you speak Italian, it would be perfect for you. But we were going to talk a little bit about avant-garde metal and talk a little bit about, the industry, how it compares to other subgenres, and just have a little chat here. So settle in and join us. Anyway, so this is Tommy. Oh, sorry, you're on the side. This is Tommy
Hi.
from Shredders TV.
Hi everyone, I'm Tommy for Shredders TV, but generally you can find me under the nickname President Evil, and I am a big fan of extreme avant-garde metal, so I've studied the topic of today, and generally I wanted to express that and share it with JJ, that it's a channel that I discovered really recently. It was really funny because I discovered your channel because of the video of the patches.
Oh, really?
But after that, I really have gone deep into your videos, and I found it that you really argument very well your opinions. So it's very interesting for me to share some knowledge and some passion for this whole metal stuff and other subculture of that.
Yeah, all the metal stuff. Yes, I love all the metal stuff. And
Okay.
it's so hard here too. I mean, I try to keep my channel mostly what do you call it? I guess non-offensive in a certain way because people are so touchy on the internet. They get so offended. So I try not to be offensive, but I'm getting to the point now where I'm starting to not care because I realize that people will get offended over everything. So
Absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely. And my channel is born like sorry, I'm Italian, so I must apologize for a lot of grammar errors I will make, but I will try my best. And anyway, my channel was born because in Italy we don't really have a channel that talks about underground metal and all the deep stuff, but generally music is in YouTube Italy is really rare, and when you find a YouTube channel in Italy that talks about metal, generally is in a comic way. But if you speak English, you have a lot of more choices. But in Italy, you just have generally is made like Jared Dines or stuff like that, but lower quality, obviously, because we are in generally poor as fuck. But but anyway, yes, it's funny when you have 13, 14, 15 years old and so on, but when you try to find something that it's divulgative, it's that a word, divulgative?
Yep, we're gonna go with
Okay,
it.
perfect. Okay, and you can really find. So I was grown up with the sentence that if there is nothing that gives you what you want, build it yourself. Do it yourself. So I created this channel like in 2013. Then I stopped 2 years. Then I formed this whole stuff that I'm really proud of. I thanks all my staff that works with me. It's not like I'm the boss. I'm just the creator and the manager of the channel, but Any other stuff, they do their own videos on the channel. They get all the credits. They get all the thing. We are just a big pirate ship, you can say. You can
Great. So
say.
how many people do you actually have that are included in Shredder's TV?
We're like 10, if I'm
Oh
not
wow.
wrong.
Okay.
10. But generally, someone, I don't know how to explain it properly. Someone works with the page, someone works with the videos, other one with not the sponsorship, but just spamming around the channel and other stuff. Or generally, we have people that already have their own channel. Like we have this guy that is called Makadoko, and he have his own channel, and he doesn't listen metal at all.
Really?
Generally, not. No, and but he's very, very prepared on pop, electronic, and all the deep stuff. Like I think his favorite band is Sigur Rós, and all this atmospheric stuff. He really likes that. So just my channel give a place, a more secure place to these people to express, because we are against, not really against, but we know all our videos are demonetized for insults, for spamming music, for
Yeah.
all, because we don't really, as you said, we don't really care, because our channel is free, is a
Hmm.
place for freedom, and if you can't stand that, fine, you can
Yeah.
go away,
Get out.
and
Get
that's
out.
the door.
Yeah. Well, that's great. I think it's excellent what you're doing over there as far as like having a place for, like a Italian YouTube channel for metal. That's the, when you, like you said, like when you find a dearth in something that you want that doesn't exist, it's kind of up to you to create it. And that's also where my channel sprouted from too. I'm like, I want to know all these stories behind these concept albums that I love, and no one was doing that. So I was like, well, maybe
Absolutely.
maybe I could do it. So that's kind of where I started. But yeah, so I think that's great. And as far as like your musical like metal journey, as far as how you got into metal and how you got mostly into the extreme avant-garde metal, I'd
Okay.
love to hear about that.
That's a really fun story, and I'll try to. I don't have a really the gift of the give the short stories. I only give
That's
a
okay.
long story.
That's
So
okay.
sorry if it's boring. I started to listen metal at like 11, I think. But my first song that I ever listened to was in a pub, and it was one by Metallica. And I know that's really mainstream, but I was like 3 years old, and I still don't understand how I remember the the melody, or the not the first melody, but the ta-na-na, 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 it's the like the second melody of the song, and I that put it in my brain and never get it away. And so, well, let's start from the beginning, and very cringy beginning. So, like, it it was for the fault of my mother, because one Christmas just goes out, and I'm 26 years old. I don't know how old are you?
Same, 26.
Oh, okay, we're on the same age. Fine. Okay, and but goes up, and I don't know what do you want for Christmas. So are you interested in the video game Guitar Hero 3? And I was like, what the fuck is that? So I was really out of all these games that becomes my favorite genre, even if I abandoned. yes, the the video games stuff many years ago, just because of this.
Oh
Yes,
yeah.
my bad is a mess, but this is the point. This all this is the point why I don't have time to play video games anymore. So, and then I was like, I talked with my friend at school, and they said, "No, no, it's a really cool game. It's cool." And I was like, "Okay." And then I get really challenged with it, and I discovered all this big thing that is metal and is rock generally, and I was blown up with the variety, and I got really into it, and I just gave in with all my journey. Started from like always Iron Maiden or Led Zeppelin and all that stuff, but I got really specific phases, you can say, because after that I tried to listen to um, trash metal, but only trash metal. I don't know why. I just really can't stand it now. if like see there is some band that I really like that they play thrash metal, like Vector or Revocation, but you can't really say that they're thrash metal anymore. But back in the day, they were. And then I tried to break in the extreme stuff, but it was really tough for me for the voice. And after some listens, that there was this album that completely broke up my way. But before that, I listened a lot of punk, a lot of hardcore punk that here in Italy is a really a big cult. And back in the day when it was like the end of 80s, there was a really tough situation in Italy because there were a lot of terrorism, a lot of street fight between communists, between fascists, between all that stuff, between police, and police was in in the middle of it, and everyone broke the other, and all that stuff. And I think that from this um, cultural bad thing was born a desire to express all the bad emotions that people in Italy had inside. So they tried to, and they did express that within hardcore punk. That we in Italy, it's like punks with an X, because the punk was dead. The punk was dead at time, so this was another thing. And then there was Omnidium by Obscura in 2012, I think, and that just broke everything. And then I discovered technical death metal, and I was blown away from all that technique, all that stuff that they put it in this music. And do you like technical death metal?
Oh, yes. So I'm not all technical death metal, but definitely, a handful of bands, and I can really appreciate
Mhm.
the absolute skill that is required to be able to play any of those songs, any from any technical death metal band. It's just incredible. I don't know how, it's superhuman to an extent, how you can play even one song, and then these bands get up there and play a full set for an hour. I'm like, how do you have the stamina for that, first of all? It's
my
incredible.
my
Yeah.
my guitar teacher is in some of technical death metal bands that I really like, and I still don't really fucking know how he does play all that. And I just say something on my journey, because I don't really remember what happened when. but I was a big fan of symphonic black metal. But it was at that time was a little bit off. Just listen to the mainstream, Cradle of Filth, Dimmu Borgir, and all that. And I was a big, enormous fan of melodic death metal.
Mm.
Absolutely. And everything just happened naturally, that more and more I give in, and more I discover stuff, and more I searched in metal for new inspiration and new stuff like prog metal that I know you really like, and everything, just everything, like besides doom and especially stoner. I can't stand really much stoner, but because I grown up with speed, thrash metal, death metal, black metal, and just go down to the other side is really tough
Too
thing.
slow.
Yes, but there are the exception of like sludge or you can say extreme funeral doom, and there are people that think really this is a thing. And
Extreme doom metal.
extreme doom metal, wow. And like Primitive Man, I really like that band, or some other band that put some extreme in their sound. But the other bands that like play stoner, but they play the traditional way, or the doom metal as traditional, I don't. It doesn't speak to me. It's not wrong. It's not bad. It doesn't just speak to me. And this, I think, it's a really big point when I say that I've studied, because now it's in pace. It's in standby. Pace. What the fuck is that? I struggle with my language a lot.
Okay, you can
And
throw some Italian words in there too. We'll figure it out.
no, I can, but it's better to me talk everything in English, because it trains my brain to to think in other languages. But if you want to ask me anything in Italian, I can explain that, even if I'm in the North Italy. So the stereotypes that other countries have in Italy, they become more from the south of Italy.
Okay.
Uh, and then when I still love all the genres that I grown up with. Oh, I forgot to say I was a big fucking fan of power metal, and I was like,
Love power metal.
and like, and I was a fan of all these bands that like are the final are a definition you can get is a big pile of sugar. You can
Yes,
just
yes.
press down your throat. Yes, take
It's
those melodies.
very indulgent, I think, to some extent, as far as just the catchiest
Yes,
hooks
absolutely.
and melodies. And sometimes I'm just like, man, this is so cheesy, but I just love it. I just eat that shit up. It's so great. I still love power metal. Power metal is, I think, also a
Absolutely.
great gateway band, or I guess genre, for people who are just getting into metal. Like my sister, who is not into even really much rock at all, she likes power metal. Like I got her
Okay.
into some sort of metal through power metal, and I think power metal is great because it's how a lot of people start out in the
Yes.
metal world, and then they start listening to other types of metal, and then they become full-fledged, like, insane metalheads
Mhm.
like us. So yeah, I still have a love
Absolutely.
for power metal, even though I do acknowledge that sometimes it is just the cheesiest stuff. But sometimes cheesy stuff is good. Why
Yes,
not?
absolutely. I think I'm the only one fan, but there is this thing that, I cut it out, that topic because I just speak with a stream of consciousness right now. I studied music critic, and when I say this thing, everyone gets in a position of defense. Like I will get into their house with a Joy Division album and a pistol, and you must listen to this because if you don't like this, you're stupid, and I will shoot you in the game. So, so and all people that don't really understand is that music critic work for the public, not for anyone else. Just it's a form of expression, absolutely, but it's just to give in an opinion, and what the difference is, a person that just express their opinions about an album, and a music critic. This is an airplane because I live really near an airport.
Sounds like
Um,
aliens. It's cool.
oh, I will record that and build it a drone album. Yay! No.
Perfect.
Okay, and when I say it's just a study when you can argument what you like, why you like that, and not you must like or not a thing. I know that. I make an example. I am like one above 1,000, 1,000,000 of metalheads that like Amaranth. And I know they're a shitty band in a compositively way. Really, it's like a disco music, like electronic dance music with some heavy guitars down to get it more rocky and more metal stuff. And but it's so catchy when you drive, when you just want to cut to completely off your brain. Well, if you don't off your brain with Amaranth, just play them so they can turn it off for you. But anyway, then I think it's only how well can you argument a thing, an opinion, and it's just that, and you don't
Mhm.
have to feel this defense. Oh my god,
Oh my god.
this person
Yeah.
will
People,
give.
yeah, people get so crazy over, someone else sharing their opinions, and it's about music. It's not even about politics or about
Yes.
religion. It's just about like, hey, I like this band, and here's some things I like, or here's some things I don't like about this band. And it's so
Absolutely.
funny to see how, I guess you to make it like the glass half full type of perspective. It's nice to see
Mhm.
how passionate the metal fans are, I guess. But at the same time, it's like, you guys, chill. It's just someone's opinion. Like,
Yes, absolutely. But
so
it's funny when you okay, I must say that I usually get in the live stream very angry about something, but I do it because when you're in a live stream, you just express in a potential way, in an completely distorted thing. And when if I offend a friend in a live stream, I don't offend the person really. I just express something that happens in that moment. If I meet someone that maybe that were involved in a shitstorm, in a flame, you can say, and I will be the easiest person. I will keep my opinions, but I won't offend anyone in person. And that's really stupid about the internet because they think, oh, that person tells me that, and that person will tell me the same thing in person. No, it never happens that way. Never.
yeah. And I
We're
also
all.
think too, yeah, there's a certain part as far as like being on YouTube and trying to capture an audience, you have to be
Absolutely.
interesting, you have to be a character. I know some YouTubers actually put on like full characters, like they're completely
Yes.
different on the camera than they are in person. So I mean, I
Mhm.
think when the camera's on, there is a certain aspect of like trying to be entertaining to some extent
Mhm.
too, and it is obviously entertaining to, like make fun of people or just, like get really intense about something. So I mean, I think that's the thing that people who don't, like film themselves in their bedroom don't
Yes.
understand, is that like, we are playing to an audience, and we're trying to be fun and interesting, so that you don't, click away or something like that. So I think, and not that we're trying to like, be a people pleaser or a crowd pleaser, but it is, technically we are in the entertainment industry, and like,
Yes.
um, it is more interesting. Like as far as like when I watch other YouTubers, I like the ones who, are funny or crazy or mean, or,
Mhm.
like something to do with that's just kind of a little bit extreme to some extent.
Mhm.
And I guess that kind of goes along with, like music. Like sometimes things are just more interesting when they're more extreme.
Yes, absolutely. And I this is a really interesting point, because I think that we've reached a point when, if you can't break the wall of extreme metal, generally we take all everything in extreme metal. That's the reason why people say, "Oh, metal in back in the days was better," because it's not better or worse now. It's just different.
Different.
And if you can't stand that a person scream or growl at vocals, and you can't just put attention to other things, or maybe the voice in some rare cases, but that's not the point. The point is expression, and you can't use like a Beyonce voice to express like a genocide or a massacre.
hmm Yeah. And yeah, that's the thing too. I just like love about metal. I actually plan to do a video here pretty soon talking about like why metal appeals to certain people is, and I think that's one of the things, is that like metal allows you to talk about anything. Like versus the music we hear on the radio today, you're restricted only to music about drugs, partying, or love. That's it. That's
Mhm,
the only three things that they ever sing about in any other, like pop, like very like
mhm,
mainstream music. It's those
mhm,
three. Like you can really boil any song down to those three things. Whereas metal, you can talk about some dark shit. You can talk about real stuff. You can talk about like, yeah, like you said, genocide, suicide. You can talk about just anything really. You can talk about weird shit. and
mhm.
and it's, I think, a very safe place to explore um, certain feelings that are not considered like nice feelings. And not everyone is walking around every day feeling like, I'm just a nice person today. Everyone is gonna have certain moods, or sometimes it's just an innate sense that like, so, like today I'm an asshole, but whatever. So it's nice to have a safe place to kind of vent those feelings, I think, versus trying to force people into feeling a different way when that's maybe just not who they are, or that's just not the kind of expression that they want to explore or idea that they want to explore.
I absolutely agree with that. And you know what is really sad about that? That the industry choose to
Mm-hmm.
put that in radio, because actually you have really good pop music right now, and but not in the radio, of course. When you discover like there's a this girl that I really like, not in a personal way, it's an artistic way, and that is called Saint Vincent, and she plays art pop and electronic rock, something between that she really explore a lot of subgenres. And what the coolest thing about that artist, that it makes it really simple, but and you can say it's pop, but you think about that more like in a David Bowie thing, instead of I think what Nicki Minaj, Cardi B, and all that stuff.
Yeah, and I think too, they're actually, and this is like me not saying I dislike pop music. I actually do listen to pop music every now and again, and there are some pop artists that I like as well. But I think it's sad that some of these really incredible pop artists don't make it into the mainstream just because they're not what, like the people have decided that they want to hear, like maybe they
Mhm.
talk about something different, or maybe they have a weird
Yes.
message or something like that. And it's just not what the people, or like the radio, or it's not what's making money, and so it's not what's
Yes.
going to get big. And it's just kind of sad. But I think the great thing about like the metal industry is that like that's what we're all about, is like weird shit and stuff that's not like socially acceptable is what we're
Mhm.
all about. And I love that because it puts no restraint on what people can and can't do. I mean, there are some Cannibal Corpse lyrics that I just fucking cringe at, and I can't read because it's too much for me. But I appreciate the fact that they go there and
Okay.
they explore that type of thing. Um,
Okay.
and though I probably won't really want to read certain lyrics of theirs
Okay.
after reading certain ones, I appreciate that that is
Mhm.
somewhere that they were willing to explore and
Mhm.
do that type of thing. So I
Okay.
think it's just a really really freeing of expression, basically, to boil it all down.
No, I completely understand that, and I, as you probably have seen, I'm an extrovert person, and so it's really simple for me to express that. And like if I read the Cannibal Corpse lyrics, I just laugh at that a lot, really, really a lot, because when if you read some of the, well, just open a little bit the topic of this video about avant-garde, and most especially avant-garde extreme metal, the extreme variation of the avant-garde. But I will explore that better after, you can say. And when you read those lyrics, they are avant-garde music. It's generally a really, really um, serious place. And when you read a Cannibal Corpse lyrics, you can't be really serious because, I mean, fucked with a knife. So how, and or something worse. But anyway, that I can tell that it's music for fun. I listen to brutal death metal for fun, except for bands that take it more seriously, like Nile, or that are one of my favorite band. I can't figure that out. I have the In Their Darkened Shrines album cover tattooed, and
Well,
it was my first ever tattoo.
oh wow.
And and uh, but when I listen to avant-garde, and the my favorite genre, that I can't say it's the genre that I listen to um, more, because it requires an active listen. So it's not adapted on every mood you have. It's not adapted when you are around, or when you're I don't know, in a place when you must wait, and something that distracts you every time. It's really a genre that completely takes you, and is serious for that. But that's why I love it, because when you just really give in, it can give you a lot, a lot of stuff. And so I can say, when I listen to brutal death metal, I laugh and I listen to it for fun. And when I listen to avant-garde, I give in all my attention. So and when we for example, when we listen to power metal, I don't think that it requires an active listen, because it's not really a genre that you can't understand when you first listen to. It's indifferent with progressive or tech death, or like black metal, when you get in bands like MGLA, that it pronounces like Mugwa, or Batushka, and all that bands that are really mm, that really give a lot of points to their music.
Yeah, and I
So
think it's cool too for certain like genres where you can appreciate just the music, just listening to it with like say
yes.
half a mind. And then also at the same time, if you give it another listen and another listen, you start discovering other layers to it, and then you really dive into it and you start like looking up the lyrics, and you can appreciate it on like multiple levels. And just, I mean, I know that sounds pretentious, but like being able to experience art on more than just a surface level is going to make it deeper no matter what it is. Like there is a certain thing to say as far as like things that are commercially um more accessible is because they're usually more available on like a surface level, like you one experiencing it one time, whether it's music or like movies or books or whatever, one time, and you get a great experience and that's wonderful. But like certain things that have multiple layers are the things that people are going to come back to again and again to
Yes.
discover more depth to it, and to explore what it is that the artist was trying to convey, and have some kind of
Mhm.
moral like thematic message to it. I think is what really draws a lot of hardcore fans and people who like to obsess over music and stuff. So
Oh, absolutely. And the funny thing that is one the more stuff that I love completely right now. Back in the day, I hated them with all my heart. Like generally avant-garde, I when I started to listen to it when I was like 17 or 18, I completely hated it because I can't understand it. I
mhm.
couldn't, because it's the past. But anyway, anyway, and I completely can understand that because my level of attention was really low and I can't go deeper. And the same thing happened with my favorite the film author. I can't translate that word. When the main director of the director of a movie. Okay,
Mhm.
my favorite director is Lars von Trier, and at start I couldn't uh, stand it because its type of cinema is really tough. It's really long movies, and they were complicated. And if you don't have the mood to listen to them, you're just screwed. You're
Mhm.
just screwed
Yeah.
because they just express a lot of things. And if you don't have the mental stability to, or not stability, it's like when you grow up, you understand more
Maturity.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah, maturity, yes, perfect. And yes, if you don't have that maturity, you just it's more difficult to go deeper in that. And that's why as I am an extrovert person that search every time something new, I just mm, I'm just in the place where you need to have a maturity, and you need to understand a lot of things to really appreciate that, I think, in my honest opinion, at
Yeah.
least.
Yeah, and
So
I mean, like, so I'm an introvert too, or not too, but I am an introvert, which is different from you
okay.
being an extrovert. Um, and so I think I internalize a lot of things too, and I think for me, um, extreme metal or just metal in general is a good place for me to um, explore these internal emotions that I have
Mhm.
versus, like, because I don't really emote a lot to
Okay.
people in my personal life. And so I think the kind of organizing and like a form of catharsis is
Okay.
metal music that kind of sorts out all these like crazy whatever emotions pinging around inside. So I think yeah, so it's cool that it works on both ways for introverts and extroverts um, in different
Awesome.
ways, but it still is very very moving. Anyway, thanks for watching, freaks. Please stay tuned for part number 2 coming out next week. And please let me know down in the comments if you guys have any thoughts, if you agree, disagree. Of course, I'm sure if you disagree, you're going to let me know. But please also tell me if you agree with some of these things and share your thoughts. And also, if you want to join my Metalhead community, feel free to go down to the link in the description and join my mailing list so you get access to bonus content and just kind of to keep closer in touch with some of my good friends here on this channel. Anyway, thanks for watching, freaks.